Hi, I'm Ray Reneau. I am the Director of Ocean Conservation School for Force Blue Teams. Force Blue is a veteran nonprofit that we take special operations soldiers and we repurpose and retool them to be able to help with ocean conservation. During this podcast, you're going to learn a little bit about Force Blue, a little bit about myself and my career in the Army, and also a great way how you can pay it forward and learn a little bit about Bourbon too.
Welcome to another Aligner Insider podcast.
Well, hello everybody out there in podcast land. Guess what? The Aligner Insider team is back with another podcast for you. The world famous, incredibly talented, dual persona, Dr. Barry Glazer is
me
here. And we're back with a pretty cool podcast today. How you doing, Dr. G and Bourbon B?
I'm doing great, Dean. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so it's kind of great to be back. And I'm really excited that we're going to kind of step out into something different. This is going to be one of our in the series of the lifestyle of the sophisticated orthodontist. So I think hopefully our viewers will find this interesting, educational, and maybe something other than teeth, which is, I mean, as exciting as those are.
Nothing could be more exciting. But
we'll see.
I think we found something a little bit more exciting. So, we're all about giving back education, information, entertaining, and we have a special guest with us today who's got pretty great story and a great program behind them. And Ray Reneau is with us here. Ray is Director of Ocean Conservation School at Force Blue Team. Ray, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you guys for inviting me to be part of this podcast.
Oh, our pleasure. So, when Barry told me all about you and the program, I was really stoked about it. So why don't you give me a little background? Tell us a little about Ray Reneau, who you are, and give everybody a little bit of information about Force Blue.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm Ray Reneau. I'm the director of I'm the director of Ocean Conservation School for Force Blue Teams. So Force Blue is a veteran nonprofit where we take special operations soldiers and we repurpose and retool them to help with ocean conservation. Force Blue started on a bar napkin. Our three founders. One of our founders, Rudy Reyes, which was a Marine Recon special operations guy, was going through a pretty hard time in his life. And one of our other founders, Jim Rudhoff, was a Hollywood film producer and a really good friend with Rudy Reyes. And what happened was Rudy was going through a hard time, and Jim kind of invited him out to go scuba diving in the Bahamas. Well, fast forward, Rudy goes into the water, scuba diving, and just kind of the therapy from scuba diving just kind of reinvigorates him and kind of gives him a new way to fight to stay alive realistically. Because, with 20 years of combat and some of the things that we do as special operators, he was going through a hard time. So fast forward, they developed Force Blue, which is a veteran nonprofit where we take these special operators and we link them with marine biologists, scientists, to help with saving our ocean planet. Because as you guys know, the ocean is the number one producer of oxygen. And, without it, we as a planet would not be alive. So 70% of our planet is covered in blue water. And, if we keep going the way we are, we will destroy it. So what the scientists and marine biologists have said over their, 10, 15 years, through them fighting with ocean conservation, they've kind of lost their voices. So linking up with Force Blue and a bunch of special operator guys, when we speak a lot more people listen. So my background, 23 years in the Army. I actually retired this November. Army Ranger. So I'm a first sergeant right now.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it, man. That, people like you give us the ability to have the life we have. So, thank you so much, man. We couldn't be where we are without people like you. So thank you.
Well, thanks. I kind of got into scuba diving because after I got injured in '09 in Iraq after 6 deployments, it was a way to help me with my PTSD and my injuries. I have shrapnel on my back, and I was going through a real hard time, just like Rudy was, when I ended up learning how to scuba dive, and I started using scuba diving as a outlet. So when I did that, I linked up with Force Blue, started helping with ocean conservation, but I did a lot with Gold Star families. So if you don't know what a Gold Star family is, that is a family that has lost a loved one either in combat or in training. So I developed a program called Ocean Conservation School where we take Gold Star families and we take them down to Florida or to Bahamas and we teach them how to scuba dive, but not only how to scuba dive, but we teach them about ocean conservation. They do a conservation project, but they also become part of our network, right? So the mentorship, because most of them have lost a parent, and to be honest with you, most of them are fathers. So we have Medal of Honor recipient Earl Plumley that's part of our team. And a lot of Rudy Reyes is part of it. Roger Sparks, which is a Silver Star recipient. So we have a lot of pretty amazing individuals that have gone above and beyond, and now we're helping others to help ourselves to realistically. So,
So let's just tangent a little bit. Scuba diving. So many people out there really have a passion for it. Where's your favorite place you've scuba dived in the world?
for me, it's probably the Maldives. I've been to the Maldives on multiple occasions. I always tell my students that if you go to the Maldives and you see that coral reef, you'll never see anything that bright, that colorful. It's like 4K and then you go back to the old non-color TVs if you go anywhere else. So the Maldives has an amazing scuba diving area. So.
You've been to Australia and the reef?
I have, yeah. So, it's sad. It's sad
Yes.
with, the barrier reef with how much bleaching is happening. And, right now with all the heat down in Florida, a lot of the missions that we've done, 100 yards of hope, where we actually, for the NFL, we actually planted 100 yards of coral reef. We have a video of it called 100 yards of hope. We were lucky enough that we did that for the Miami Super Bowl, and then for the Tampa Super Bowl, we actually did another 100 yards of hope down there. So it was actually pretty amazing for us to be able to link up with this NFL and to do those projects. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So now talk about the story. So obviously, and again, thank you for everything you've done. So how does Force Blue enter into your life, and how did you dive into it as far as helping you and helping others?
That's a great analogy. No, so for me, being part of Force Blue was absolutely amazing. I got brought in by one of my mentors. Angelo Fiore. He's actually the vice president of NAUI, the second largest scuba agency in the world. I actually work with him over there too. But getting into the scuba diving and helping others has helped me with my PTSD and helped me develop these programs to be able to, reach out to these kids that are going through a hard time. So the kind of how Ocean Conservation School started was Pepsi reached out to us and asked us if we'd write a program or do a program for at-risk youth. And that kind of didn't really, correlate with our special operation missions and, ocean conservation. So it really didn't set us, we weren't really, going towards that. When, I brought it up, I was like, guys, we at-risk youth are all Gold Star families. And, because, they have lost somebody, they're going through pain and they're going through suffering, through their life. And so let's maybe gear this towards, veteran, at-risk youth. And we did. And, until, we have a video swim through, that I shared with Barry. It's about 31 minutes long. It's a documentary. And I tell you what, you talking about, making a person have some allergies. When you get a room full of special operators, Navy SEALs, Air Force PJs, Marine Recon, Special Operations, Special Forces guys, Army Special Forces, Army Rangers in a room, and all of us are, got an allergy attack all at one time. After watching this film, it's kind of one of those things. It kind of shows you, and it will bring you to an understanding of how that 10-year-old that we have, because we have 10-year-olds to 22-year-olds in our program that go through this together, and how that 10-year-old can relate to that 22-year-old because they've shared a same suffering, right? And that 22-year-old is going to know how that 10-year-old is reacting and what he's going to or she's going to have to deal with in life. And that, I mean, to me, if I could not do anything else in my life after I retire, just working with these teens and doing that for me is absolutely amazing. So
that's great.
If you're ready to take your practice to the next level, look no further than ortho marketing. Our team of experts is here to help you connect with your target audience and achieve your practice goals through powerful online marketing strategies. With our innovative approach to digital marketing, we help you boost your online visibility and get you real results. From a one-man practice to a large office, we have the resources and experience to create a digital marketing strategy that's tailored to your practice. Don't wait any longer. Let Ortho Marketing help you excel in the digital world. Contact us today and let us start your digital journey together. orthomarketing.com.
So now, let's bring in Barry's passion in here. So let's talk a little bit about how bourbon fits into this, because you can see right behind Barry's, he's got a nice little selection there. So any of you guys that are bourbonites, listen up quickly. So tell us a little bit about how you guys connected and how you met, and how it all comes back down to bourbon.
Yeah. So I've got the lights like the Empire State Building. I've got them up in blue today in honor of Forest Blue. So I in addition to the stuff that I do, my practice and the stuff that I do for Aligner Insider and the Facebook group and all that kind of stuff, and the Invisalign teaching that I do, I have a hobby, and the hobby is bourbon, and actually kind of branching off into all kinds of whiskey as well. So I have this TikTok and Instagram alter ego Bourbon Barry, and but interestingly enough, it's a really, really amazing community with people that are looking to, not necessarily get drunk. That's not what it's about. It's about people sharing a hobby, camaraderie. You can sort of have, there's something about, a bunch of folks, both, men and women getting together, and sharing a drink and sharing stories and, bonding together. And it's a way that you can do it virtually. So the TikTok community has a lot of influencers that I'm just kind of starting out, but post reviews, share ideas. So as part of that, it turns out that they also share spirits back and forth. So it's like you decide you want to try something, and you got to go spend $100 or $200 on a bottle, and it gets expensive. So
that's if you can find it. So.
Well, that's a whole other story, because there's things that things that you can go into any liquor store and get, but then there are things that are allocated that are very hard to find, that are very desirable. It's like Beanie Babies, Dean. It's it's like any hobby. It's like antiquing. And all of a sudden everyone's looking for that. The Declaration of Independence behind the picture of the dogs playing poker, right? So folks send out, the term is called a handshake, and basically, like, here's an example. You get these little bottles, so just unsolicited. And I can't remember initially when Ray and I started communicating, but unsolicited, these packages, Mr. UPS man starts showing up at my door with these packages with like bottles and bottles of very, very rare, expensive, desirable, hard to find whiskeys from Ray. And he sent them out, wasn't looking for anything in return. Just sent them out, just I don't, because he's a nice guy. Maybe he wanted me to do a review. So we started to strike up a friendship, and that actually leads me into one of the things I wanted to talk about today. One of the ways, and Ray, I'll let you pick it up, the story up from here, but one of the ways that Ray helps to fundraise for the Forest Blue team is through raffles of these rare and unusual and like sort of one of a kind types of whiskeys. So our audience today, Ray, is not sort of maybe versed in this kind of stuff. So maybe you could spend a few minutes on how the raffles work, why you do them, why people are willing to invest in them, and where that money goes.
So thanks, Barry. That was one of the things for me is that I've always liked to share, right? Share your experience, share scuba diving, share anything in life, because if you're not sharing it with friends and others, then why do it realistically, right? So for me, when I first heard Barry, I think one of the things that he ever said on one of the videos I said is like, I've never tried this bourbon and I would love to try it. Well, I had it. So I was like, here, let me send it to you so you can try it, because that's what the community is about, is just sharing, right? And that's what drives me, is that, to be able to share experiences with others. So what we've done in my life, I've been able to meet a lot of great individuals that have shared with me. And in doing so, I've been able to use, because every director of a Force Blue, we have to, help fundraise, right? We're a veteran nonprofit. So if we don't fundraise, we don't, get money or donations, we don't do missions. It cost me almost, well, not me, it cost Force Blue almost $200,000 to take, a family of 16, fly them down, feed them for a week. The scuba diving is not cheap, gear and, boat rentals and, putting them up and everything. So, some of the ways that we, go out and, raise money is, I decided to do with bourbon, because I have a very big collection that I've been able to acquire over the years, that are some of the, I would say, the very, very exclusive, that are like one in a million to find. And I have a lot of them. And because of that, we started these raffles, and, for $25, you can purchase a raffle ticket and have a chance to win one of these very amazing bottles. And so we have one, we try to have one at least once a month. And what I've designed is a plan to each one of them, so the money goes towards paying for the bottles, but after that, everything else goes to Force Blue to be able to use for mission set. And, over the last, I would say 3 raffles, Barry, we've raised over $40,000 for that has gone towards Force Blue. In our last raffle that is coming up is going to be, I call it the big one, right? That is the one that I hope to raise the remaining amount of money to be able to take 16 Gold Star families next year to Ocean Conservation School. And, that one's going to have some of it's going to have the Pappy lineup, the full Pappy lineup. It's going to have the full Blanton lineup. It's going to have the full Wellet lineup. It's going to have the full Weller lineup. It's going to have the full Jack Daniels Daytona Beach Harley collection. It's going to have all these different lineups. There's over 100 bottles. So that one's going to be pretty amazing, but that one's going to be our closeout. So, but part of,
people are not
that?
bourbonites. Tell us, people are not bourbonites. Why don't you tell them what the brands you just mentioned, where they are in the spectrum of bourbons?
I would say they're at the top. They're the ones that everybody, tries to get, that we're going to have almost $50,000 worth of bourbon for our last raffle, trying to raise the remaining portion of our funds for the year. So,
Dee, maybe a good for those listening out there, maybe like a good description would be, it's not only, let's say, like the Rolex of bourbon, but it's going to be like the Rolex Paul Newman Daytona, of bourbon, which is a 500. If you can, buy one at auction, it's maybe $500,000. So, very, very rare, desirable. I mean, certainly delicious. I don't know how many people actually open them or just collect them, but there is again, for those listening, there is a whole, like anything else. You go out and you buy a bottle of, whatever, Maker's Mark, and you drink it and you think that's bourbon, but there's a whole community. And just like anything else, there are rare, for a variety of reasons, rare bottles, just like wine, or I suppose, that are incredibly desirable, incredibly sought after, and also incredibly marked up in price. So, you if you, let's say for $100 you get 5 raffle tickets. To have a shot, to win, like metaphorically, the Paul Newman Daytona Rolex, and at the same time do something for a cause. I mean, it's tax deductible. So it's you're doing something, and we're talking about Gold Star families. We're talking about veterans that give their lives, give their bodies, to defend our country, and then the children of these families that are sort of left with the shattered lives. I mean, it's easy enough to like Venmo over $100. I mean, we have it easy, Dean. As civilians, we have it easy. We don't, we haven't been to 6 tours of duties and have shrapnel on our back. So I think for me, you sort of, you sort of feel somewhat inadequate, like knowing what people like what Ray have devoted their lives, to defending the country and our way of life, and so $100 to me seems like a small, or $500 if you want, or whatever it is a small price to pay, to try to do at least a little bit to help out people that are in need. These children are left with devastated, and help hopefully put their lives back together again. So, yeah,
awesome. So Ray, as far as if somebody wants to get more information or to be involved, what's the best way for them to do so?
So they can always donate, right, at forceblueteam.org. So you can see our videos, you can see our mission set, you can see all of us on there. You can even see my picture on the staff on forceblueteam.org. Or if you want, if you want to be part of the bourbon raffles to do that portion, you can always go to R&R Bourbon and Cigars on Facebook to be able to join our Facebook group, and you can follow us along there. Or if you're on TikTok, you can follow us along with R&R Bourbon and Cigars. So,
great.
Yeah. So if you go on, I don't know about Facebook, but I know on TikTok, there's like a link tree, and there's a link in his bio. Is that the right term, Ray?
Yeah. Yeah, and then also on Facebook, there's a link to my Facebook page where, some people don't have TikTok, so you can always go to Facebook if they have Facebook, and you can just search R&R Bourbon and Cigars Facebook group, ask to join, and everything that I post on TikTok for the raffles is on my Facebook page too. So.
Is that RANDR or is it R?
Just R&R. So one R and then another R. So R Bourbon and Cigars. Yeah.
Great. All right. So just a couple of just 2 final questions for you, Ray. We always like it was a little different. So now you're going scuba diving and you're taking your own boat, but unfortunately you're stuck on an island for the next 2 months. All right. What one bottle are you bringing with you?
I'm taking Weller Antique 107.
Wow, really?
Right. We have it there, Barry.
That is my daily drinker, and that's what I drink all the time.
Let's see.
So and Dean and I are always quoting from movies. So Dean, let's see if you get this quote. Damn good stuff, sir. See if you can get that one.
Right over.
Really? Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
What's one of my favorite movies? What's
forget the character, but Michael Fassbender's character is like in like this tavern.
Oh yeah. No,
he orders try glazes with the wrong finger. The guy knows that he's a spy, and he said, it's there's a special rung in hell for people that waste good scotch.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk in the Queens now.
So I think it's funny, you say that is that we're actually for our next raffle coming up. We just got these donated. I don't know if you can see them, but they're cases, cigar and bourbon cases with flights of Glencairns to take with you for travel. Oh, wow. So it's going to be pretty cool. Then we have these that have 2 bottles for it, and so we're excited. We got these donated from an amazing organization.
Wow, that's cool.
So Harry, I'm going to put it on you. You're stuck unfortunately, you're stuck. You're closed into your office now for the next 2 months. All right, just you and a whole bunch of aligners. So, what bottle are you stuck keeping in with you? The only one you can bring in.
So there's a lot of things that I actually haven't had yet. So I'll leave all the fantasy bottles off the list. But the one that I had that I thought was really good was Old Rip Van Winkle 10-year, which is also known as Pappy 10. But I thought that was like the nectar of the gods.
Did you do a review on that yet?
No, actually, no. And not only that, but of course, Ray sends me a sample. I mean, we're talking about a bottle that retail goes for like $1,000, right?
Oh,
I mean, and he pours it. So a 2-ounce pour is expensive. So no, yeah, actually, I'll probably do
how
that.
much is a glass then?
I'm actually studying for my blood, for my annual physical. So I've been kind of like dry for the last couple of weeks. But
How much is a glass then? If it's a 2-ounce pour, how many ounces are in a typical bottle? So
like 25, I think, something like that, 22 to 25 ounces in a 750 milliliter bottle. So yeah.
So you're about $40 a drink.
Yeah, so I mean, so think about it. And he sent me a case at first, and these beautiful bottles. I actually have them here. Oh, he got from Liquid Ministry, but I think this is backwards. But these beautiful sample bottles that have the R&R bourbon and cigar logo. But he sent me there's probably like 9 or 10 of them, and I mean, with just incredible stuff. So you're probably talking about couple $100, and then that you have to bottle them up and you have to ship them. I mean, it's a whole rigmarole. So Ray, I appreciate you. And it's funny because when he first started sending me these, I'm like, what could I send you back? And he's like, nah, I have that. I have this. I have that. Like, he doesn't want anything in return. So,
I think it's one of the, Barry keeps, making me blush and everything, but, people have done it to me too. So it's me paying it forward is what I say. And then Barry does it to other people. He sends others, and that's how the community grows, and that's how the community is. And that's how you get your, our passion to be able to share it with others that maybe haven't shared bourbon, and, so I'll tell you a story. The way I got into bourbon was, in '03 when we got back from, actually it's '04, when we got back from the invasion of Iraq. I guarded General Petraeus during the invasion of Iraq. So I was on his personal security detachment, and when we got back, he shared a bottle of Pappy 15-year with us. Got us all a drink back in 2004 that could be found anywhere, $100 bottle, not a big deal. Today, that bottle that I have for my retirement, that's going to be this November, is a $4,000 bottle, right?
Wow.
So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, you get introduced to the community, and it's kind of like my wife's a big wine drinker, so it's kind of the same way, because we'll go out to dinner and we'll be with her father and some other friends, and we might drink $1,000 bottle, right? Never in a lifetime would I ever spend that much for a bottle, but I have friends that have liquor stores that I've made relationships like Barry has, where they'll sell it to me at MSRP. So why would I not share that with others that maybe have to pay that $4,000, right? Why would you pay $4,000 and never even taste it? So for me to be able to share, Rip Van Winkle, because the bottle that I sent him a taster, I had a guy on TikTok donate 2 bottles, one for the raffle and one for my bar. So
Nice.
I poured and I shared. I felt like somebody shared that with me. So why not share that with others that have been supporting me and supporting our cause, like Barry has, so.
That's well, Ray. Yeah, I want to let you know how much I appreciate you, and hopefully our listeners. We have thousands of folks that listen to these. I would hope that you would also strongly consider paying it forward as well, and make sure that you go onto Facebook or TikTok, our Bourbon and Cigar, enter the raffle. There are other ways you certainly can make a straight donation as well. But I think that again, it's a small price to pay for the things that our veterans do for us. So Ray, I appreciate you so much, and appreciate you taking the time to tell us a little bit more about the Force Blue team.
Man, thanks. Yeah, Ray,
thank you guys
so much, man. Again, thanks for everything. And guys out there, hopefully you got some good information. Hopefully we made you smile a bit. And as Barry said, it's always good to pay it forward and give back. And what could be better than this? The reason that people listening to this have the successful life you have is because people like Ray. So again, thanks for that. So with that said, one final question, Ray. And this is probably the toughest question you probably ever asked. So Reese's or Snickers?
Reese's.
Good man.
The streak continues.
All right, good man. All right. Well, Ray Reneau, thanks so much, man, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Everybody out there, podcast line, thanks so much for listening. Bourbon Barry, Dr. G, thanks so much. Everybody, if you get a chance, raise a glass today. Toast, cheers to Ray and the people that give us the ability to live the life we have, and thank you. So everybody, be safe, be happy, smile, and as the great Aldo Rain says, let's give any good quotes from Aldo Rain.
Kill the Nazis is the only thing that's coming to
exactly. We're gonna kill the Nazis. All right, everybody, thanks. Be well. All right.